Good day, Monlemarians. Today I will introduce to you the sampling techniques. Sampling is a method used in research to select a group of people or teams to study instead of examining the entire population. This helps researchers save time, money, and effort while getting the reliable results. In this presentation, we will explain what sampling is, why it is important, and what you will learn from this topic. There are different ways to choose a sample, and each method has its own advantages. Some methods ensures that everyone has an equal chance of being selected, while others focus on specific groups. Understanding these techniques help researchers get accurate and useful results. By the end of this presentation, you will know the basics of sampling and why is it a key part of research.
Sampling techniques refers to the method used to select a subset sample from a larger population for the purpose of making inferences about the entire population. Since studying an entire population may be impractical or too expensive, researchers use sampling techniques to gather data that can help them draw conclusions. There are two main categories of sampling techniques: probability sampling and non-probability sampling. In probability sampling, we have four types, which is simple random sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, and systematic sampling.
Simple random sampling is a basic sampling technique used in statistics to select a subset of individuals from a larger population. The goal is to ensure that every individual in the population has an equal chance of being selected for the sample. In simple random sampling, each member of the population has an equal probability of being included in the sample. This method eliminates bias by ensuring that all potential samples are equally likely to be chosen, which helps make the sample representative of the overall population. The process of simple random sampling typically follows these steps. Step 1. Define the population. Step 2. Determine the sample size. Step 3. Assign a unique number to each individual in the population. Step 4. Random selection. And Step 5. Form the sample. The selected individuals or items from the sample for the study. The key objectives of simple random samplings are: eliminate bias by giving each member of the population an equal chance of being selected. Simple random sampling minimizes selection bias. Simple random sampling is widely used in surveys, experiments, and research studies because of its simplicity and effectiveness in providing unbiased and representative samples.
Stratified sampling, population is divided into two or more groups called strata, according to some criteria such as geographic location, grade level, age or income, and subsample are randomly select from each strata. Stratified sampling is type of sampling design that randomly collects sample from distinct subgroup based on a shared characteristic. This sample represent a population in a study or a survey.
Steps in cluster sampling. First is define the population. Clearly identify the target population you want to study. Create clusters. Divide the population in distinct, non-overlapping clusters. These clusters should ideally be as heterogeneous as possible, meaning each cluster should reflect the diversity of overall population. Third is randomly select cluster. Use a random sampling method like simple random sampling or systematic sampling to select a subset of the clusters. The number of clusters selected depends on the desired sample size and the size of the clusters.
The doctor per customer file description the survey. We will merge back to sampling point to customer list. Systematic will sabat contributing to customer fact per words ensure 4% with cyber customer base. It convert the statement per small observer per parent pattern. A myrtle word you close in members form a regular group in a regular pattern.
The process involves identifying an easily accessible group recruiting participants through volunteering, existing networks, or online platforms, and then collecting data. For example, serving students in your own class about a new university policy is convenient, but the result might not represent the entire students' body's views. The ease of convenience sampling comes at the cost of potentially biased and less generalized result.
Selection bias is the drawback since volunteers may share traits and affect result in healthy studies. For example, participants may be more health conscious. This limit generability, but researchers can address it by volunteer sampling is not probability method where participants willing join a studies is convenient and cost effective but can lead to bias since volunteers might not represent the general population. This method is common in service and psychological research when random sampling is impractical. Sharing data or acknowledging biases.
Snowball sampling is particularly useful in research involving groups that are difficult to reach through traditional sampling methods, such as drug users, sex workers, or Snowball sampling is particularly useful in research involving groups that are difficult to reach through traditional sampling methods, such as drug users, sex workers, or undocumented immigrants. Research on sensitive topics like criminal activity, sexual behavior, or stigmatized conditions, where participants might be Researchers start with a small group of initial participants, often called seeds, who met the study criteria. These initial participants are asked to refer the researcher to other individuals within the target population who might be willing to participate. This process continues where participants might be reluctant to participate openly, identifying experts in specific fields such as medicine or manufacturing to gather valuable knowledge.
Quota sampling is a non-probability sampling technique in which the researcher selects a sample that reflects specific characteristics or traits of the population, ensuring that certain groups are represented in the sample. The process involves dividing the population into different subgroups based on particular attributes and such as age, gender, income, and etc. And then selecting participants from each ones to ensure are represented. In the example, the process involves identifying key attributes of the population and deciding what proportion of the sample should come from each subgroup to match the population's structure. Similarities. In both techniques, the population divided into distinct subgroups or strata based on certain characteristics. These characteristics help define how the population is segmented. Differences. Quota sampling is a non-probability sampling method. The researchers select participants based on convenience or judgment, not at random. The goal is to meet the predefined quotas for each subgroup. Stratified sampling. It's a probability sampling method. Subgroup based on particular attributes such as age, gender, income, etc. And then selecting participants from each subgroup until predetermined quota is met for each category. Quotas is quota sampling are typically determined based on the characteristic of demographics of the population that the researchers want to ensure the stratified sampling. It's a probability sampling method that population is divided into strata and then participants are selected randomly from each stratum. This ensures every member of the population has a non-zero chance of being selected.
In summary, The 8 sampling techniques, simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling, image sampling, purposive sampling, snowball sampling, and quota sampling serve a unique purpose in research.
Choosing the appropriate sampling technique depends on the research goals, population size, and available resources. Proper application of these techniques ensures that the sample accurately represents the population, leading to reliable and valid research findings. Understanding these methods allows researchers to collect data more efficiently and make informed generalization about a larger population.